God, it's even lower than I thought. Okay. I just let Google do the math for me. $4 billion divided by 2.5 million people is $1,600. That's right. The average person on his team made $1,600. Yeah, not very impressive. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Nicole Reacts, where Nicole reacts to online marketing gurus that I find on the internet. My qualifications for Snark are that I've owned a marketing company the last 14 years. I think in QuickBooks we have 350-ish clients, and I had clients before we even used QuickBooks. So between that and then people I've just taught kind of one-off in a workshop situation, I would say that I've worked with over 500 clients over the last 14 years. In addition to that, I have two non-marketing businesses. So I've both needed and providing marketing services. So I know what it's like on both sides, and I feel pretty qualified to talk about this subject. So today's person we're talking about is Matt Morris. This is a Jessica find. And what I want to talk about with this guy and with actually a couple of the latest people we've uploaded about is I'm noticing that now that we have a body of work in the Nicole Reacts playlist where we react to all these gurus, right? Probably 4 months of content weekly. So now that we have a certain grouping of videos, I'm noticing that there is a pattern and that these people seem to me to fit into one of three categories. We have the top category, which is the actual, I'm calling them actual marketers. This is like a Seth Godin. This is like an Amy Porterfield. This is someone who actually does marketing professionally and is known outside the network marketing industry. And depending, obviously, has different levels of griftiness and respect in the industry, but is recognized that they are in that industry, the marketing industry. The second tier is what I would call the network marketers, marketing people. So you have the Eric Voorhees and you have the Boss Lees. And these are people I've been in marketing, as I've established, for over a decade. And I hadn't really heard of any of these people until I started doing these reaction videos and started looking into them. So these are people who feel qualified to teach marketing to network marketing people. Now, obviously, the network marketing people could learn marketing from the actual marketing people, but the network marketing business structure makes certain things not possible, like setting up your own website and your own platform or using social media in certain ways, like, for example, having a Facebook or Instagram product catalog. So there are things that are open to businesses, like actual marketers talk to actual businesses, that aren't open to network marketers. So I think they've sort of decided, okay, well, we're going to specialize and make money off of those people. Now, I think a lot of people in network marketing see an Eric Voorhees, see a Boss Lee, and think, I want to make $6 million, talking. I also would like to make $6 million talking, but I cannot bring myself to join what I think is an unethical business model. So then you have this third tier of people, which I'm calling the dollar store network marketing trainers. The Darren Kidd, I called him dollar store Eric Voorhees. Yes, because he's bald, but also I think because he has a sort of similar approach, cadence when he talks. And these people understand that they're never going to be Boss Lee. They're never going to be Eric Voorhees, but they can find enough people desperate to make sales that they can do trainings with. So I would classify Matt Morris in this category. Now, what I think is really interesting about him is that I went to 6 different websites and read biographies about him. And they are very specific with some parts of his story, like that he has been a 6-figure or more earner in more than 3 different companies. Doesn't list what the companies are. Really hard to fact check when you don't know the name of the company. And it's talked about his downline of 2.5 million people, or he had a team of 2.5 million people and they earned in excess of $4 billion. You know what? I'm going to go on the internet and do that now. God, it's even lower than I thought. Okay. I just let Google do the math for me. $4 billion divided by 2.5 million people is $1,600. That's right. The average person on his team made $1,600. Yeah, not very impressive. Now, what I think is really interesting about this guy is he's written a lot of books, but he he doesn't really call himself an author except of one of them. So let me show you what some of these books are. I'm going to put them on the screen now. So first of all, the breadth of topics, right? So we have NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. We have Alexa. We have Love Yourself, like there was no tomorrow. We have a book about Linux. We have a book about Alexa. We have a book about positive thinking. We have a book called Starfinder RPG Armor. I feel like this guy was like, let's just put a lot of stuff out there and see what goes on. But wait, there's more. Happiness from the Inside Out. Amazon Prime membership, something. I can't read it. Success Unlimited. And okay, note the Success Unlimited cover, because we'll get back to that. A lot of these covers are very similar, but Simplify. Goal setting. I can't read that, but Unzip Your Mind. Positive thinking. How to love yourself. So notice like this is how to love yourself like there was no tomorrow. This one's how to love yourself, wake up and smell the roses, love yourself. So I think those are two different books, but I'm not entirely sure. We have Talk to Strangers, Do Talk to Strangers, The Small Talk Method, Emotional Intelligence. So we have some covers that aren't loading, but wait, there's more. The Art and Science of Success. And please note that for volume 2, all we did was add a banner that said volume 2. Didn't change the cover at all. A travel guide and tourism book to, I don't know what place that is. A book about codependency, Codependence Gone for Good, The Conversation Method, Push, Persist Until Something Happens. Oh, Persist Until Something Happens, maybe. Pathfinder Lost Omen, Amazon Echo, Fire Stick, Simple Steps. This is the Amazon Fire Stick. And I don't know how the Art and Science of Success. I don't know if that's, I can't read that volume number. But wait, there's more. So the one that he's like calls himself the author of is The Unemployed Millionaire. And he's the best-selling author of The Unemployed Millionaire. We might actually go check if that is true. How to Live in the Present Moment, 7 Secrets to Success, The Storytelling Method, Pathfinder, Lost Omen, Character Guide. So I don't know if this is like an RPG thing, and Unzip Your Mind. So for a guy who doesn't list himself as an author, he's certainly written a lot of books. And I don't know if this is the one that just like hit right or whatever. I'm going to go look up the sales of that one. Okay. So I'm not an author. I don't know how many copies this thing sold, but it has 190 something Amazon reviews, and it looks like I can buy it for $1.94 in good condition on a used bookstore website. So there's that. So one thing that tickled me while I was reading the Goodreads reviews of this book, which are pretty middle of the road. Basically, everyone's like, I got a few things out of it. It was okay. Or I found parts of this problematic, but I appreciate how he said this. Like, one of the reviews was like, I listened to the audio version of this, and you shouldn't narrate your own book. And I 100% agree with that. I always think about one of the first audiobooks I ever downloaded was Delivering Happiness, which is the story of Zappos, written by the founder of Zappos, who I think has since sold the company, I think to Amazon. But anyway, this guy read the book, and it was the most boring. I felt like the content would have been okay if someone else read it. And anyone who is listening to as many audiobooks as I have, you look for the narrator and you listen to the samples as much as you read about the actual book, because it can really make a big difference. So, yeah, author of a specific book, but actually many books. But since he lists himself as a trainer and a speaker, I'm kind of expecting a lot from today's presentation. So this is on his YouTube channel. As usual, we link to the original video in the show notes if you want to go watch it. And this is called How to Recruit and Sell on Social Media. It's about 34 minutes long. Now, before we go into full screen, I want to show you the show notes. Yep, it's 1 sentence long. Very promising. Let's establish this looks like a live stream. And I only say that because I think he's using StreamYard because our titles look the same. I record in StreamYard because I just like that I can do overlays and stuff a little bit easier. And I'm already paying for it for the live streams that I do for myself and my clients anyway. So just using what I know. But I've been thinking for a while about making a sort of bingo card for these people because since we're live streaming, well, since Matt is live streaming, he can't do a guru trailer. So he has to do the I have awards in my background thing, which he's doing here. We see what looks like maybe an eagle or some kind of bird of prey. We see a lot of clear awards with plaques underneath them. We, of course, can't read any of them, and I doubt any context will be given about them, but they're back there saying, hey, I'm important, and I'm about to tell you something. So, all right, Matt, what have you got to say about recruiting and selling on social media?
All right. Hey, everyone. Matt Morris. Welcome to the live. I am excited to.
All right. Energetic is fine. My thing is that, like, if I showed up to record this and I was like, yay, everyone, welcome, you would think I was an idiot. But, and wow, that's a ring. I wonder what that ring is from. I don't know if it's from college or if it's from playing professional sports. We'll see. But wow, that is a ring. That could hurt somebody.
Deliver to you today, this morning. I was writing my daily email newsletter, which if you're subscribed over at mattmorris.com, you know I deliver daily coaching to your email every single day. And I talked about
yeah, I could write one email every single day if it was my entire job, just saying.
Strategy that's earned me millions of dollars. And that is very simply to do more than what is expected, to over deliver and to do more than what you're paid for. And
so I know of a lot of people who over deliver, and I don't think they're all unemployed millionaires. I feel like in business, your goal is to try to do not just what's required, but something to delight your customers, something to help them out. And if it's in your power to do it, why wouldn't you? Yeah, I feel like, yeah, we're all trying to go above and beyond. I think this is not like a new idea.
And I told the story that if you're on the newsletter, you'll see it. But long story short, it is a strategy that's allowed me to earn millions of dollars. It's a strategy that's allowed.
The strategy that has allowed you to earn millions of dollars is that you've recruited 2.5 million people into downlines and they're working for you. So it is not you over delivering. It is you exploiting the labor of other people.
Allowed me to become the #1 income earner in 3 different network marketing companies.
What's the name of them, Matt? At the beginning of this broadcast, I tell you what my company's name is. I don't make any income claims because I don't have a multiple 7-figure business like these people. That's another thing on the bingo card. Also, let's take some bets about when he actually starts with actual content versus telling his story versus building empathy versus selling you his related products like his newsletter, like he's doing now. I'm going to bet that he's going to start actual content at the 6-minute mark. Okay. We're at the 44-second mark. I say he's going to actually start at the 6-minute mark with the actual content promised, in this case, how to recruit and sell on social media. But go ahead and think about a number of what timestamp you expect that to happen, and we'll see if we're right.
And it's a strategy that just always works. And I thought, you know what?
Nothing always works. Nothing.
Better practice what I preach. And so I wanted to hop on and do a live today. And I believe this live may be the most value of any live I've ever done, because
the other thing I will say for those of you who aren't seeing, the way that he's framed himself, it's cutting off the top of his head, and it's kind of bugging me that he can't move the camera a little bit up to give space around his whole head. But that's just a minor thing. Again, you know I'm a live stream catty bitch, so let's continue.
Today, what I'm going to teach you is how I've personally sponsored hundreds of people. In fact, if you look.
When you sponsor people, that means recruit them in your downline. Like, I don't know what that means. I feel like this is one of those network marketing specific words. Whenever I think of a sponsor, I think of maybe someone in AA, or I think of somebody who's, I don't know, given to a nonprofit event. Like, oh, a nonprofit's holding a golf tournament and I sponsored hole number 8. I don't know.
At in general, I sell books and stuff like that as well. I've
We know you
seen
sell books.
thousands of sales through social media. And so I want to show you how I've been able to do that. I want to show you exactly how I've been able to build a following of over 800,000 people, how I generate leads.
A following of 800,000 people. All right, I took a brief pause because I felt like the number he was saying seemed high, but I think he might actually be right. He has 611,000 people on Facebook, 22,000 on Twitter, 86,000 on YouTube, and 257,000 on Instagram. So that is a collective 800,000 plus, actually. And listen, if you want proof the universe isn't fair, I have 203 YouTube subscribers as I record this video. This guy has 86,000. Okay? Just in what universe would that be fair if we lived in a fair world? Okay. Back to it. He has 800,000 people audience. He is right. I concede. And let's continue.
Every single day reaching out to me. And so this may be one that you may want to save. If you want to give some value to some others, definitely share this, because listen, this is the number one question that I've gotten certainly over the last 6 months or so since the pandemic has hit. And people were already wanting to recruit and sell on social media, and then when the pandemic happened, it exploded in the biggest ways.
Yeah, network marketing exploded during the pandemic. It's too bad. It always kind of explodes during times of economic uncertainty. And I feel like now, especially after everyone kind of learned to work from home and a lot of companies are going full remote or hybrid work situations, that there are plenty of opportunities if you need flexible work that is well paid, that you can get it without using network marketing.
And the people who are taking advantage of it are crushing it. Many people are absolutely crushing it. And
Many
then
people are
there's many
crushing it.
others who have a learning curve and you haven't quite figured it out. You're lost. You don't know the first thing to
Are they lost, or are in a system of business that only a certain amount of people can be successful? I know some really smart people who did not succeed at network marketing, opened a real business, and then were fine. Just saying.
do. And so today I'm going to be sharing my screen with you, and I'm going to walk you through the 4-step system. So if you're ready.
Oh, screen sharing. We haven't had this before. Most people just talk at the camera and don't use StreamYard's many amazing features. We haven't had this since the MLM training people, Jason and Christy. I think. I don't think anyone else has shared their screen since.
Let me know in the comments. Say, I am ready, and we will kick this baby off. So let me do this. I'm going to share my screen with you and give you some visuals as we go through this. Looks like we got a bunch of people who have popped on already. Let me share the screen, and we will dive into this baby. All right. You guys should be seeing my screen now, and
So just now you saw that he was in StreamYard. So we know that that's for sure happening. I don't understand why these gurus don't have two screens. Like I have two screens. I'm not a guru, and I don't know. I think the screen was $75. Like it's not like it's expensive to have two screens, or that most computers aren't capable of doing that. I do have a little connector that connects my computer with an HDMI cord. So I think the dongle is like 50-ish bucks because I got a nicer one. And then I think the screen is 75-ish. So for 150 bucks, you could have a separate screen and really seamless sharing experiences. But let's continue.
let me just pop in here. All right. So social domination is really the system that I coined. Here's what I was taught 20 years ago.
I don't want to be dominated socially.
When it comes to network marketing, there's a simple 4 steps system. In fact, if you follow this, it'll work. If you don't follow this, it won't work.
So we can call this maybe the start of the actual content, although I feel like he's still selling it. We're at about the 3-minute mark. So I said it was going to be at like the 6-minute mark, I think. I forget what I said. I didn't write it down.
That 4-step system was called IPET, invite, present, enroll, and train. And
IPET.
It was something I had never heard. I struggled for 5 years. I started implementing this system and understanding.
In one of the bios I read, it mentioned that he tried doing Amway when he was in his early 20s and then was ultimately not successful. And then he spent 5 years on professional development and then joined other companies where he was able to be successful. 3, that you mentioned that there are 3 of them, but not the names of them. Now, if he had said he was successful at 10,000 companies, I would understand him maybe not being able to verbally name them. But 3, that isn't a lot. It also talks in one of his bios about how he started his own network marketing company. And so what I'm really curious about is his timing of joining and starting these companies. Well, obviously the company he owns, he's going to probably make the most money at, but I'm curious about the timing because that does make a big difference in network marketing. And if he joined Amway super late, there was probably no way he was going to be successful at it. So, yeah, interesting.
Each of the 4 steps, and I crushed it. I went from 5 years of struggling, always spending more money than I was making, being frustrated, feeling defeated, feeling burned out, wondering if this network marketing thing is for me or not.
Okay, slides on the screen, but he hasn't started the content yet. So I'll call when I think the content has actually started.
To crushing it at the highest levels, building a team of 10,000 people in the next 2 years, becoming a #1 earner, and ultimately building a team that's grown to over 2 million customers, producing over $2 billion in sales. And so,
as we've established, dividing 4 billion divided by 2.5 million is 1,600. And when you think that most of the customers are in the actual network marketing company, that's supposedly going to be their earnings.
that strategy works in a big way. But when it comes to recruiting and selling online,
it doesn't work for the person who made $1,600. I mean, listen, if you walked up to me and gave me $1,600, would I be mad? No. Is it going to change my whole life? Also, no.
When I was trying to figure this out years ago, I didn't have the first idea how to do it. And what I knew is I needed to create a simple system.
Yeah.
And that's where I came up with these 4 steps. And so when you master these 4 steps and you're able to get things flowing, what
a lot of these people do, and what he's about to do now is like, imagine your life being different. I think this does 2 things. Number 1, it puts people in the state of being open to hear what you have to say. And number 2, it fills some time. We're at 4 minutes and we're imagining. No training has started. There's a 4-step system. That's all we know.
I want you to imagine for a minute is just imagine thousands of people seeing your content every single day. So every time you post on,
imagine making so much money you could stay home with your babies. Imagine making so much money that you could give more to worthy causes. We see where he's going here.
Instagram or Facebook or one of the other social media channels you may be on. I personally focus on Instagram and Facebook. Imagine thousands of people seeing all of your posts. Imagine waking up every single morning to hot leads direct messaging you. Imagine receiving daily thank you messages for the positive impact that you've had on people's lives. And I will tell you, it is such a rewarding experience to have so many people. In fact, every day, someone reaching out, whether it's email, direct message, a comment, whatever.
So I don't know whether it's his internet that's slow or mine. I'm moving in 2 months and I will have a higher speed plan in my next location. And I will also have a better router. So these issues will go away in future videos. But I just want to acknowledge that I do see his video pausing, but I see that mine is not pausing. And I'm not quite sure. Again, I'm corded into the internet that I do have. And it seems to be working fine. And when I stream from here, it seems to be fine. So I don't know.
It is someone saying thank you for the influence you have.
But also, if he doesn't have a separate monitor, I doubt he has an Ethernet cable plugged into this computer and he has a continuous connection. But I digress.
Out on my life. And I just believe if you put good things out, you'll get good things back. And so this brings me to the 3 magic words that I focus on. If you want to know these 3 magic words, they're fairly simple.
We're at exactly the 5-minute mark.
And it's this: consistently add value. If you consistently add value to others, guess what happens?
In the Eric Warhe video, I counted how many times Eric Warhe said value. I'm not going to do it here, but I'm guessing if we did count it, it would be ridiculous because he's going to say it a lot probably in this broadcast.
You end up having success. You put good out and good comes back to you. So in the social media world,
Not always.
this is important that we do that. Now, there's value in different ways. The value that I tend to provide is personal development training. It is how-to training. It's leadership training. It's helping entrepreneurs become more successful and to become more powerful leaders. So if you're in networking, or if you have an online business, or if you're just a leader in general, that's kind of my wheelhouse. And so I want to rise people up to step into the potential that I know they have inside them. And so that's how I add value. Now, I follow a couple people online, and the value that they provide for me, in fact, one of them is a $1 million network marketing producer, and he puts funny memes out.
Why not? Okay. I love these people. They're like, oh, I follow these other people, but they don't say their names. What? So we can't fact check it? Who is this very funny meme sharing network marketer?
Every day, a bunch of funny memes. Guess who I can't wait to see every day? His memes. And so he's adding value to me through entertainment. And so everyone's.
Who is it so we can go see the content? Cite your sources.
In a while, I add value through entertainment. And I'm going to break into this and break this down so you'll understand this a little bit better. So here are the 4 steps. It's attract, engage, connect, and close. Attract, engage, connect, and close. You want to memorize these, get these.
This is revolutionary.
Stuck in your head, because once you understand all 4 aspects, all 4 of the steps, you become unstoppable. And so the first phase is attract. And so realize in the social media world, it is a war for attention. And if you're not posting every day on social media, you're losing the war. If you look at the top influencers in the social media space, you take a look at that, they're posting every day. Some of them, if you look at like Tony Robbins and Gary Vaynerchuk and many others, they're posting 2.
Name one woman, Matt. Network marketing is dominated by women. Name one woman thought leader. Let's see if he does later on. I doubt that he will.
3, 4, 5 times or more every single day. But the bottom line is you need to be putting content out there if you want people to be attracted to.
Also, you can't compare yourself to Tony Robbins. I just looked it up. Tony Robbins has 258 employees. If you're running a business by yourself, you cannot put about the same amount of content out on social media or do the same amount of work in any facet of business compared to 258 people. Okay. And that's not including any like subcontractors or whatever that they're working with. That is 258 employees. So whenever these people trot out these examples, it's not relevant. It is not a fair comparison.
To you. Okay. Now next is engage. So if content is king, no doubt, but engagement is queen. If you're posting comments, or if you're posting things online and no one's commenting and you have no engagement, the posting doesn't really do you a lot of good. Now, in the beginning, you'll not have a ton of engagement because you're kind of building up that following. When I first started out and had no following, it felt like crickets. And there are definitely strategies to get over the silence on there and have people coming to you. And that's something that I'll give you a little bit today on. The next is connect. This is where you take it off of the timeline, take it off of the comments, and you go into the direct messages. And so this is where you learn to pique interest and see if people are open.
This is the sliding into the DMs step.
And I'm going to give you my philosophy on this. I had a question the other day. I did a live coaching, a Q&A, and someone was asking, how do I get people who aren't interested? So like a lot of people aren't interested. To me, those aren't my prospects. I'm looking for people who are open. And so we'll talk about that. And then we're going to talk about turning your leads into sales, closing prospects. So we'll get into that. So let's talk about attract first, where you're posting content, because as we said earlier,
the former teacher in me appreciates that we basically have an outline of what we're going over. Like these are the steps basically, and now we're going to get into each one of them. Because a lot of these people, you can tell they have absolutely no educational background. Most people, if they're going to sit somewhere for half an hour or an hour, want to know where it's going. And even with these reaction videos, it's at least a set format. At the beginning, I'm going to give you background. We're going to watch the video, and then we're going to do a summary at the end where I say whether I think these people know what they're talking about or not. So you at least know what's coming generally. But I appreciate that he did this here. So I'll give you a point here, Matt, for doing this bare minimum amount of work that a good presenter would do.
Earlier, content is what? Content is king. And so this is the attraction phase. And here's the question for you. Are you on social media or are you using social media? Most people are on social media, but they're not using social media. Social media for them is simply entertainment. You get on and you mindlessly scroll. How many of you are guilty of this? I am, for sure. I'm raising my hand if you're guilty.
Yeah, the sites were built to do that. They were built to make you go back multiple times a day. They were built to periodically or in randomly reward you. Yeah, it's built for that.
Of this, drop me a me in the comments.
Let's beg engagement. Everybody watching this video, drop a comment below about who I should react to next. Let's get some engagement.
All do it. In fact, every once in a while, I'm scrolling through and I realize I've been scrolling for 20, 30 minutes. Okay. So here's the whole point. We need to change our mindset as it relates to social media. We need to be intentional when we're on social media, so we're not just mindlessly scrolling and we start using social media. So there's 3 keys here. Number 1 is you post consistently every day. Have a strategy to post every day. I'm going to talk about how to make that very easy for you. Create connections and have a strategy. If you don't have a strategy, you're going to fail. The strategy is your map. If you want to travel from Dallas to New York and you don't have a map, how are you going to get to New York? You just kind of drive around aimlessly. And most networkers don't have a map. They don't have a strategy. So today, I want to help give you that strategy.
So he said posting on social media is going to be easy. I think that is so interesting because in the Tanya Eliza video, she talked about how she spends 90 minutes a day on social media. But, you're just going to post content and it's going to be easy.
And so, you need to show up consistently, but how do you do it? Okay, so I'm going to give you a strategy here that will help you. So number 1, create posting categories. What are the overall overarching categories that you're going to use? Okay, I'm going to give you my categories. And so this is why it makes it easier for me to post, because I have kind of a general sense.
Yeah, so this is one of the first things we do with new social media clients is we figure out kind of what, buckets of content or content categories or whatever you want to call it. I did a live stream about how to sort of DIY this content and talked about things like categories. I'll link those videos in the show notes in case you want to watch them.
Of what kind of categories I'm going to post in. And so number 1, live videos. What I'm doing right now, I hop on and do live videos. And I will tell you, live videos are king. I mean, nothing gets the engagement of.
So I don't think this is specific enough. And here's why. The live video is about something, right? So for example, I do a weekly live stream on this channel every Tuesday. I might change the date, but for the last 2.5 years, I've been doing it every Tuesday morning. And I vary between 3 categories of that kind of content. I do one called social media marketing. So that's videos, say, about running a contest on social media or how to batch create content like he's going to talk about. My second category is business websites. So I talk about things like adding functionality to websites or figuring out how to do certain things with your websites, like having gift guides on your website. So a little bit of content marketing in there. And my third category, I call general business. So this is usually where I have guests. So I had a friend come on and talk about producing a business podcast. I had another friend come on and talk about adding a subscription product to her website. The kind of things that don't quite fit in the website or the social media category kind of go in the general business category. And what I've been trying to do is keep the amount of videos in each of those categories consistent. And I'm trying to see kind of what categories of stuff are people interested in with my videos. Are people interested in these detailed tutorials? Are they more interested in something conceptual? like intro to automation, or do they really want a step-by-step how to run a lead generation ad? Are people more interested in my sort of general business, sort of financial, organizational content, like goal setting, or are they more interested in the more technical content, like, different ways to handle photo galleries on a website? I'm still figuring it out, but point being is that it's not just live videos. I'm intentionally thinking about the subject matters of those live videos. So I think there's the mode of the type of content, whether it's a video, whether it's a series of images, whether it's a singular image, whatever. But then there's the actual subject matter that, like, the video is about, or that the photo is about, or whatever. So just wanted to put that out there.
Of a live video. And if you're not doing live videos, you're missing out on a lot of engagement. You're missing out on a lot of potential leads. Now, do you have to do it? No, there's lots of influencers who don't do live.
The other thing too, I'll just throw out there, if you like the idea of a live video and maybe you want to be on, like, interacting in the comments while a video is playing, you can pre-record and stream a video live. So just know that, like, if you want to use the live video feature and like the idea of people commenting and then you're in the comments kind of interacting as the video plays, that's something that can be scheduled ahead of time.
Videos at all. But I'm telling you, if you are willing to step up and do it, it can greatly, it will give you a quantum leap compared.
I will say live videos, what I like about them is you don't really have to edit them afterward. As long as you, like, go in, you're organized, you have all your stuff, and you press end and the broadcast saves, and that's it. So with pre-recorded video, there is this expectation of editing, which I think at the beginning can give you a little bit of confidence about your video presence and things like that. But after a while, once you edit your stuff, you're like, oh, this is a pain. These reaction videos I do as a recording because honestly, I'm still figuring out kind of my voice in this. And part of it is that I'm watching these videos for the first time as I record them. So when this guy is like, well, Tony Robbins puts out multiple pieces of content a day, I wouldn't have had Tony Robbins on my radar for this video, but I wanted to quickly look up how many people worked at the Tony Robbins organization so that you can understand that him just throwing that out there was not a fair comparison. And these little things come up as I'm recording these videos, which, I don't know, if I wanted a really long live stream and people wanted to watch that, I could totally do live, but, would take me a minute as I, like, went off screen to do that. So I'm still figuring out my voice with these videos, so I pre-record them. And but there is a benefit to going live, which is that you do not have to edit.
Compared to others. And so I definitely recommend doing live videos. What do you talk about? Delivering value. What is something that you can deliver value on? And so one of mine, family and personal images.
So I think this is a little bit gross. And let me just give a little background why, because you could feel differently about it. And I'm acknowledging that I only have one certain experience, which is that I am a child-free woman in my 40s. So I don't have any kids. I do have a dog, and I'm not saying that's the same thing. I'm just using this for storytelling purposes. But let's say I have a really cute picture of my dog. I would not post it to our business Instagram. I would post it to my personal Instagram. So it's an interesting line to walk. I also need to be respectful of the people closest to me. So one of my employees, Jessica, you've seen on this channel before. I'm sure you'll see her again. She is outgoing. She likes being on camera. She's fine. The three other people that work for me are more private. And I respect their wishes to not be on the channel, to not be forced to be on video. I think that that's important. I just respect people's, like, boundaries around privacy. And I think as long as you do that, as long as you ask your partner or your kids or whatever before you post a photo of them, I think that that's nice. But I do think we have to create more careful barriers around kids. I think there's a lot of creepy people out there. And I also think that sometimes when kids consent to things, they don't fully understand them. They don't fully understand the impact of them. So, as the adults in their life, we need to be protective of them on their behalf. And when they get older and see that there's no weird internet messes for them to clean up or whatever, I think they're going to be kind of grateful. But that's just my take on it.
I want to build a connection. See, it's not when I say deliver value, some people think, all right, I'm only going to deliver content. And content is great, but what creates buyers is connection. Because we've all heard the old saying, people buy from those they KLT, right? Know, like, and trust. And so you want to build a connection with others. And so I want to give.
I will say there's another part of this whole posting your kids thing in particular that feels a little meh to me, which is that I think it's a shorthanded way for some people to seem like they're nicer than they might be perceived to be without seeing their kids. In particular, I see male business owners doing this. They're like, look at me and my beautiful wife and my beautiful children, kind of thing. And I think that says, you're trustworthy, you're warm, you're, a family man, right? And so when we see someone like me who has actively chosen not to have children, you could think the inverse. You could think, oh, Nicole's cold. Nicole doesn't care about other people. Nicole's not nurturing. We could think all these things about me for not having children. And I guess if you follow me on social media, I would like the information I share, the way I talk, and all that to say the things about me, about my values and my personality, versus letting the presence of other people in my life stand in for that. I don't know. Maybe that's what makes me feel weird about it, but these people and their lifestyle. So to me, posting lifestyle pictures is kind of like an indirect income claim, right? So if you were following my company page and I was constantly posting that, oh, we're here on vacation and look at me in first class and here's this like fancy meal I'm eating, you would think, oh wow, Nicole like must make a lot of money. I should learn from her or she should be my guru, whatever. But I purposely don't post that kind of content because I think you're here to learn about marketing. Although I did have someone tell me the other day I should upload a personal video to this channel so that you can sort of see the Nicole behind the reacts. But, and maybe I'll do that. But yeah, like this whole lifestyle thing seems like a way to get around not making income claims while also kind of making some income claims.
Lifestyle and vacation. I just got back from Mexico, stayed in Tulum for a while. Cool, two different boutique resorts. Very, very cool. Worked out at the Jungle Gym where
boutique resorts. Gross. So he's like, I didn't stay at an Airbnb. I stayed at two different boutique resorts.
you've got these wooden weights and the plates on the bar are stone. They've got baskets for the, pulling exercises. I mean, just amazing. So I'm taking pictures and videos and I'm showing this. So lifestyle is a big category. Inspirational quotes. So this is something that I'm into. I love seeing inspirational quotes. And so it's something I put out. In fact, I recruited one guy who has actually earned me millions of dollars because years ago, I said, you know what? I'm going to start posting my favorite quotes. I'm just going to put them out there. It's easy to do, super easy to do. And it's meaningful for me and it might touch someone else. And so I started putting quotes out. And I had a guy who responded after I put out one of those quotes and he said, I love your quotes. What do you do? And I said, man, I'd love to talk to you about it. Why don't we hop on Skype? And he was not in the US, he was in Africa. I talked to him on the phone. I showed him a video for my company. He joined, he recruited some people who recruited some people who recruited a really powerful leader. And it's led to now tens of thousands of customers from putting out an inspirational quote. I mean,
yeah. My Dave Hollis reaction video got me a really good client. And that's part of the reason I started doing more of the reaction videos because I was like, if it can attract someone like this, I want more of that. So yeah, putting out one piece of content or having the content just hit the person in the right way can help. And if you have a variety of content, it's more likely to happen. But yeah, you never quite know how people are gonna come into your business sometimes.
Crazy, right? But that's just adding value. Next is personal development. So anything in the personal development realm. So I read all the time. I'm always learning. I like to take the insights and then I put them out there. And so part
What book are you reading now, Matt?
of what I do on my daily emails, this is an example on my mattmorris.com newsletter, is I read, I learn, and then I teach what I learn. And so that's something that if you're an entrepreneur, you should be learning anyway. You should always be growing, but don't just grow for you, grow for other people as well. Take what you're learning and give it to others. Next is entrepreneurship. So I'm posting random things. I mean, top entrepreneur movies, mindset of an entrepreneur, things to focus.
Okay, so I've always thought the word entrepreneur was vaguely douchey because I see myself as a business owner, I see myself as a marketer, I see myself as a co-working space owner. There's a lot of things I see myself as, and to me when someone says they're an entrepreneur, it means they don't want to tell me exactly how they make their money or what they do for a living. I could see where posting entrepreneurship content that would get a lot of dudes who want to start businesses but maybe don't have the capital to do it would slide into his DMs and he'd be like, "Oh, for $200 you can get the starter kit and we can work together. You can have your own business." I could see people sort of falling for that. I feel like if you care about people starting businesses, you posting entrepreneurial content is not the way to communicate that or to put that out into the world. If you care about entrepreneurship, you can mentor students who are starting businesses at your local university. You can be a part of a business pitch competition as like a panelist or something. You can join SCORE as a volunteer business counselor. There's a lot of things you can do if you care about helping people start businesses. I don't think posting social media content is it, though.
Focus on as an entrepreneur. So that's one of the categories that I'm passionate about. I want to attract my people. Okay. Sometimes
I want to attract my downline.
people are like, well, how do I get these people and these people and these people? Well, you don't need everyone. You want your people. You want people who have similar interests to you. Okay. I'm into personal development, inspiration, entrepreneurship, and those are the kind of people that I like to attract. And then the next category I have is deep insights. And so these are text posts. A lot of times, of course, on Instagram and even on Facebook, I'll put an image to go along with the deep insight. But it's just me thinking about life. It's me sharing my perspective on life, on parenting, on leadership, on relationships, on whatever it may be. Deep thoughts.
He has some relationship books. We know that. He doesn't have a parenting book yet. Maybe he should write one.
So that's one of my categories. So when it comes to, all right, what are my posts going to be about this week? I can look at my categories and go, I need to do a live video. Let me grab or take a personal picture. Today, I'm going to go hang out and do something with the kids. We may go to a dog park or something like that. And so maybe I'll take a picture or I'll do a story on Instagram.
PSA, a lot of dog parks, for insurance purposes and otherwise, have an age limit for people who can. So our dog park, you have to be above 12 years old to go. And the reason for that is like little kids are kind of unpredictable and, they might like approach a dog or whatever. Whereas an older kid, you can say, "Oh, hey, my dog's kind of shy. Don't pet her." And like they won't, kind of thing. So yeah, just check your local dog park regulations. Completely unrelated to anything we're talking about today.
About us being at the dog park and stuff that's happening there, giving people an insight into my life. So that's the attract phase. You need to be posting every day. Next is the engage phase. Now I'm going to give you some tips here. This is important. Don't expect engagement if you're not willing to engage. I have people who come to me for coaching all the time and they're like, I can't get anyone to engage on my posts. And I look at their posts and they have the people who do comment, they're not commenting back. So you need to be commenting back on everyone who's commenting. You need to be engaging on other people's profiles. Okay. Think of it kind of like a party. Social media is a big party and there's people everywhere. And if you show up to the party and you stand in the corner and you hold up a sign, or like your post is like a sign, you hold up a sign, like, anyone want to hang out? Anyone want to hang out? And no one's coming to you hang out because you're not going and engaging with anyone. So
Okay, I don't hate this analogy. I think it's kind of a good analogy, actually. Yeah, because a lot of these gurus talk about posting content and they'll talk about tagging other people or something gross like that. But yeah, you have to be on whatever platform you're using, you have to be on it using it. You can't just post content and peace out.
So you need to be out engaging. Hopefully that makes sense. Stop mindlessly scrolling. So be intentional. So as you're scrolling through, be looking at other people to post on. Go to influencers who have lots of activity happening on their posts and start engaging. Other people start seeing your posts and you start becoming more popular at the party. Okay. So again, you can't just stand in the corner. You need to be out engaging. Next, your post will show up more to the people you engage with. So if you're not engaging on your friend's post, they're unlikely to see your story. So how do you do that? Make it quick. So instead of mindlessly scrolling, you comment, and I'll give you some ideas and kind of my strategy philosophy on that. The other is, birthday. Wish people happy birthday.
Yeah, and you know what? Like Eric Worre's like, oh, tell people it's a good post, and I appreciate you sharing and whatever. But I think the comments have to be more interesting than that. We'll see if he suggests more interesting comments than nice post or I agree. Yeah, I'll be curious what he recommends there.
Facebook or Instagram sees that you've actually sent a message, a direct message back and forth, they're more likely to show your posts to the people you're engaging with. So there you are, happy birthday messages or audios. I have a good friend, Simon Chan. He runs MLM Nation. He sends me a video every year on my birthday. I get a video of him singing me happy birthday. And he goes on a morning walk every day. Has 2, 3, 4, 5 people who are friends of his that have a birthday, and he sends them a quick message, and it's personalized and it's meaningful. I remember him because of it, and I see his posts all the time. Why? Because we engage with each other. Next, pre-engage.
You engage with each other once a year on, he sends you a birthday message. Do you send him a birthday message? Just curious.
Before you post and before you go live. So go out there and engage in other people. That way, when your post shows up, you've recently engaged with them. They're more likely to see your post or see your live video. And
Tanya Eliza said something like that about like basically warming up the algorithm. And someone else said it to me the other day. I feel like it's one of these things where I've been doing this for a long time and I've never heard of doing this, and like 3 people in the last 2 weeks have said this is a thing. I don't know if it's a thing, but I might look into it for a future live stream video and get into it.
Have a few key phrases. So if you're wondering like, oh, what do I say? What do I say?
Okay, but you could also put a specific comment about the thing. So let's say that one of my friends posted an article about Google My Business and how they're updating the categories and everything, right? I could leave a comment and say, hey, thanks for sharing this. You know, I am noticing that I can now categorize my business as X, Y, and Z. We'll see if I come up more often in search with that. So like I've given some people some examples of what some of the new categories are in that comment, and also sort of showed that I actually read the article that they shared. So I feel like specific comments or sort of funny comments that show you're in on the joke. I don't know. I feel like this, I agree, and amazing, and you're a rock star.
These are kind of some examples. I love this. Thanks for sharing. Legend. Boom. So true, my friend. You're such a rock star. I agree. Genius. Love this post. Miss you, my friend. Doesn't have to be super long. You don't have to be spending hours. But when you're getting online and you're scrolling through and you're intentional, you be laser focused and you're like, boom, 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 boom. You're commenting on all these posts. Okay. And making the algorithm work for you. And so when people are commenting, you want to love every comment. You want to reply to every comment. And ideally, you get them to come back to your post. So you ask a question. So let's say you do a live video. You post, someone comments, and they say, love this, as an example. Say, oh, thank you so much. What part did you like the most? If it was a live video. And you're engaging in conversation. You're getting them to come back.
You don't have to be that detailed with your comments, but when someone leaves a comment, you should ask them a pointed question about what they liked best so that they elaborate.
So starting conversations. And the whole thing here is think about how Instagram and Facebook make money. The way they make money is
by selling people advertising. I thought like 80% of Facebook's revenue for a while was like the advertising platform that businesses use to run ads.
Through advertising, right?
Yep.
And the more people they have on their social media network, the more money they make, the more ads that they can run from advertisers, right? And so when, let's say,
Kind
you
of.
are
They can also just stick more ads in the feed, which if you're on Facebook, you probably noticed the last little while that they're putting more ads in the feed. Yeah, that's definitely something I've noticed too.
scrolling through and you comment on someone's post, and let's say your notifications are turned on, and the person whose post you commented on, you get a notification and it says so and so replied to your comment. You pull it up, you go back to the social media network to see what they said.
I have notifications turned off on my phone for pretty much everything, because if I just responded to everything in the moment, I would get nothing done all day.
Okay, and whether you comment or not, Facebook has seen, all right, this post, people like this post. It's causing people to come back to the social media network. And if they come back to the social media network, guess what? They make more money. And so you want to create conversations so you get your post seen by more people. And here's the thing, ask for what you want. So if you're doing a text-based post, if you have an image in the caption, ask for what you want. If you have a statement that you're making, do you agree or disagree? Okay. People are going to let you know. What do you think? Soliciting people's opinions. I do this one every once in a while. Drop me a hell yeah if you agree. And I get a ton of people saying, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. And I will give you a quick tip here. The longer the comment is, the more it's going to work for the algorithm. So if it's just one or two sentences, it's not going to work as well as if you're saying, what do you think? And people are actually putting longer things in there.
So your comments don't have to take much time because you're just saying hell yeah or whatever his sample comments were on the previous slide. But the algorithm works better when you leave longer comments. Okay. Just
there, longer comments in there. Who else has an opinion? This is a great one where, you know, you're soliciting people's opinion. People love to share their opinion. Okay. Heck, people like to share it unsolicited. So when you solicit it, they really like to share it. Comment below and let me know what you think. Say yes in the comments if you agree. Caption this if you've got a funny picture or something like that. So the key is this, ask for what you want. The next phase is connect. This is where you take it off of the timeline and into the direct messages. So once you've engaged in the post, you move it to the direct message. Here's my strategy. People are always like, well, what do I say? I'm just going to give you mine. And this is what I've used very successfully. I like to start it with a compliment and a question. So someone comments on one of my posts, or maybe I'm in a Facebook group. I have a social domination 365-day calendar I tell you about. Anyone who gets that, you actually get a training on recruiting in Facebook groups. And I have a whole strategy. And so whether you're in a Facebook group or someone is commenting on one of your posts, you can basically send them a direct message, give them a compliment. Hey, I thank you so much for commenting on my post. I looked at your profile. It looks like, all right, something like, you know, you have beautiful children. Where are you from? If you know where they're from, if it's obvious, you might say, I see
you have beautiful children. Where are you from? I feel like if I was a mother and I got that message, I'd be so creeped out. But
you're in Alaska. I see you're in here. What type of business are you in? And so I'm starting a conversation. I like to give a compliment, ask a question, find similarities. So
I think the weirdest question I got from someone who I think was trying to recruit me into their network marketing scheme was on LinkedIn. They friended me. I saw we had a bunch of friends in common, but I saw what MLM they were with, and she just started chatting with me on LinkedIn, and she asked me if I liked my business, and I just thought that was such a weird question to ask. So I think I wrote back, "Well, I've been running it for 14 years, so either I have absolutely no marketable skills or I must like it or something." I don't know. I think I was a little nicer than that, but it was just such a weird question.
So if someone is entrepreneurial in nature, if they shared some books, if they're into personal development, I want to find those similarities and point them out. The reason why I want to point them out is simple, because people like people who are like them. People who like people who are similar to them. And so If you're a personal development fanatic, you're going to tend to like other people who are personal development fanatics.
I feel like I want people around me with similar values, like integrity and generosity and honesty and whatever. But in terms of like what books they read or what movies they watch or what they like to do in their spare time, I like having different kinds of people around me because I think I don't know, it makes my life more interesting. But I don't know. I don't want a bunch of people just like me. That'd be super boring.
If you're into cars, you're going to gravitate towards people who like cars. If you're a vegan, you're going to typically hang out with other vegans. If you're into barbecue, you're going to hang out with other people who like barbecue. So I want to find similarities, and then I want to help them and offer an opportunity. Okay, if and only if they're interested. This is a big key. I am never sending someone a presentation or anything like that unless they've told me they're interested. Okay. And listen, I've made the mistake on this. When I first started trying to recruit online, I would use this strategy and I'd build a little rapport, or I wouldn't. And I'd just say, hey, I'm in the most amazing opportunity. We have this and this and this. And,
and they all say, don't pitch the opportunity right away, but they never tell you when to pitch it. You know what I want one of these people to do? Go through a sequence of DMs with like 3 different people that you've successfully recruited. So like this person said this, and then I said this, and then they said, I think that would be so much more helpful than saying, don't pitch them right away. Every network marketing trainer says, don't pitch them right away, but no one tells you how to know when to pitch them. And I think seeing conversational examples would be helpful.
Here's a presentation, call me afterwards. They never said they were interested. And I got very little results. What allowed me to start having huge results is when I started qualifying people. And so here's a couple quick examples. You seem super ambitious. I don't know if it'd be a fit or not, but I help people earn money from home. If you're open, let's have a quick call. If not, no big deal. Just thought I'd ask. I'm going to give you my philosophy. Do you send a video or do you get on the phone? Here's how this is just my strategy, and this is what's worked for me. And it works a lot. If you get someone on the phone, you're going to have a higher closing ratio every time. But a lot of times people don't want to get on the phone. In this day and age, it's a texting society. I mean, I remember
part of this is that I get like 15 robocalls a day. But another part of it is that if you answer the phone, it takes on average of 20 minutes for you to get back to what you were doing. So if I was like, I don't know, working on a blog post, I've got a blog post due today to a client. So I got to finish it. If I answer the phone, it would take me about 20 minutes to get back into that writing mode. So yeah, hopping on a quick call, I get probably 50 emails a week of people who sell software, or they're, virtual assistants, or they're an offshore website development firm and they want to have a quick call. If I had a quick call with everybody who wanted to have a quick call, that would be my full-time job. So yeah, I'm sorry I don't have time to talk on the phone about a vague opportunity. Send me the information. And anytime someone can't email me information and they say, oh, I want to talk to you about this, I'm like, great, can you send it to me over email? And they're like, if they can't send me an email with actual information in it that I can read at my own convenience, I'm not interested.
My brother, it's like I send him a text message. I call him, he doesn't answer. I send him a text message and I go, hey man, call me. And he sends me a text message back going, yeah, man, what's up? Like in his mind, texting is calling, right?
Yeah. If your brother doesn't even want to talk to you, I don't know what to say.
So
if I texted my sister and said, hey, call me, she might be like, hey, I'm in the middle of something right now. I can call you later tonight. Does that work? And I would do the same for her. If someone said, hey, call me, and I couldn't right that moment, I would figure out a way to tell them when I could call them and make sure everything was okay.
So it just is what it is. People don't like to get on the phone a lot. Now, here's how I do it. If I say something like, if our conversation has a lot of rapport and they seem like they're really interested in what I might have, then I'm going to get on the phone or get on Zoom. If they're kind of just, they're open. If I say, if you're open, I'd love to get you some details about an opportunity, about a product, whatever it is. And if they say, sure, then I'm going to send them a video. If they say, oh my gosh, that would be amazing, I'm looking for something right now, then I'm going to get on the phone with them, or I'm going to get on a Zoom. I'm going to say, awesome, let's hop on a Zoom. Are you free right now? Right? Or I set a time.
Oh my God. I got a live one. Got to reel them in while they're interested.
So that's kind of how I differentiate between sending a video or getting on the phone. Okay. Next, I love your attitude. If fitness is a passion of yours, I help people become wellness coaches. If you're open, let me know and I'll shoot you a quick video that explains everything. If not, no big deal, but I thought you'd be a great fit. Okay. Again, offering an opportunity. All I'm trying to do is help people.
Now, how would you respond if I said, I am not at all interested? Are you going to call me a jerk? Are you going to tell me that I'm fat anyway and I wouldn't be a good fitness person anyway? Like, how you respond to the rejection, I think, also says a lot about you. And I'm curious if he'll get into that.
And if they don't want to take the help, I'm cool. Now, some people are going to get pissed off. It's okay if they get, it's really not going to happen a lot. If you've built rapport and you're kind of like, hey, cool, either way, you're not going to get a lot of people pissed off, but hey, you still will. How dare you offer me an opportunity? How dare you try?
How dare you use what I thought was a budding friendship and try to sell me something? That's why they're mad. They thought you were like their new friend and that they were just getting to know you. And it turns out this was all a big lead up for you to sell something. So you didn't communicate the expectation ahead of time. Listen, that's why, if you're going on a date and one of you thinks it's a one night stand and one of you thinks it's the start of the relationship, someone is going to be mad at the end. You're both actually probably going to be kind of mad that your time was wasted. It's the same in this kind of situation.
Try to help me. You know what? That's cool. I'm going to leave that alone and move on. You have got to have thick skin. And here's the biggest thing.
Going to leave that alone and move on. So that person who thought they had a friend, suddenly you're going to disappear. Yeah. And anytime somebody is being overly nice to them, that person's going to wonder, okay, I wonder if they're trying to sell me something. It's not an opportunity. It's so gross.
That I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding on is you got to go through a lot of numbers. It's like, oh, I've talked to so many people and no one's enrolled. I go, how many have you talked to? Oh, at least 10. Well, did you talk to them or message them? Well, I just messaged. You need to talk to more.
What's your closing rate, Matt? No, I just messaged 10 people. Okay, how many people do you message? How many people do you get in a back and forth with and build rapport with enough to present them the opportunity? And what percentage of those people take the opportunity? I want some numbers. If you're going to chuckle at someone for getting rejected 10 times and wondering if this is legit, I want to hear what your numbers are.
Okay. I love your sense of adventure. If you're into travel, I'm going to partner in a new concept where we help people make money from traveling. If you're open, let me know and I'll shoot you a quick video. Again, super easy. Final stage is close. Now, there's good news and bad news. The good news is when you're recruiting on social media, there's way more people. You can present to way more. The bad news is you'll have a lower enrollment ratio. So what you lack in your closing ratio, you make up for in more numbers. You got to be okay with that. Then you get on the phone or Zoom, and that will triple your closing ratio. If they're open to getting on the phone or Zoom, triple your ratio easy. 3 things they want to know. Does it work? Can I do it? Will you help me? So you want to answer those questions. It works. Giving examples and success stories. Can I do it? They need to see that there's a system in place for them to be successful. And will you help me? So you need to let them
Yeah, I know his video is kind of glitching. I don't know if that's on my end or his end.
know that, yes, you will help them. And you need to ask them to join. So if they've seen a presentation, if you're on the phone, this is core selling 101 and closing 101 is you need to ask people. The number one reason why people don't join your
always be closing
company is because they are not asked. And then it is a numbers game. You need to go through the numbers and have a daily method of operation. Every day, I'm going to reach out to this many people. I'm going to pique this many people's interest and do that over and over and over and over. And you'll develop a ratio, for every X number of people I reach.
What's your ratio? Just as an example.
Out to, I'll end up closing this many people. Okay. Now,
one thing I think is really interesting with these people is how specific they are with certain numbers and how not specific they are with other numbers. So for example, with this guy, we know 2.5 million people in his downline, generating $4 billion of revenue. I don't know if that was total revenue ever. I'm guessing it's kind of a big number, but we don't know. We don't know what his closing rate is. We know he's a top income earner, so I'm guessing what, $1 million maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Depends what his company is. Again, if we knew the name of the companies he's worked for, we'd be able to look into these things. But I think we're not knowing on purpose. So just to give you an idea, my closing rate is 26.7%. Now, you might ask yourself, how do I know that? Well, I use a proposal software, and what that allows me to do is I can see the value of the proposals I've generated. I can see when people open the proposals. I can let people electronically sign the proposals. And in the proposals, every item is a line item. So if they say, okay, I want email newsletter set up, but I don't want a website, whatever, redesign right now. Oh, but I do want a text messaging system. I do want just Facebook maintenance. I don't want you to maintain these other things. They can check off what things they want and don't want. So my closing rate is 26.7%. I have 11 unsigned proposals at the moment, and my potential pipeline is $35,000 in the proposal pipeline at the moment. That's not including any ongoing work or whatever we have. That is just what is kind of out there right now, waiting to be acted on. What I don't understand is why he can't say, this is how many people a day I contact. This is approximately how many people I build the relationship in enough of a way that I can, bring the opportunity to, and this is how many people accept it. I feel like that would be really helpful for people to know. But I think if he did that, we would see how ineffective network marketing companies were, because of the sheer volume of even someone like this guy having to go through to get someone to join his downline.
Talk about is I'm just going to give you a quick resource. This is something that's helped a ton.
And now we're going to spend the next 7-ish minutes selling our thing.
Of people. I developed this because the number one challenge that I had so we give you tons of different ideas that you can check off. It's editable, so you can change it. You could even create
this is what's called a content calendar. Just Google content calendar template, and you can find one of these. You just plan what posts are going online what day. Also, if you use social media scheduling software, you can essentially make this for yourself.
You want to do a video, give you a social media cheat sheet. These are 65 different posting categories.
65 posting categories for $27. Just go watch my 2 videos that I'm going to link in the show notes, and you will get at least $27 of value according to this guy. Setting up your profiles as a powerful influencer, 37. Oh, so weird to put these weird, who will I decide to be? Okay, this is all just, I am legendary leader. I touch, move, and inspire people. I'm a millionaire creator. I'm an impact maker. So, and that's, we'll let him finish it off, but
and hopefully I can help you do that. And so again, if you want this, hop over to socialdomination.com. You will see all the details and you will love it. So listen, I appreciate you guys hopping on so much. Have enjoyed this. I've had a ton of fun. And, I like to do these from time to time. Again, if you're not subscribed to my newsletter, be sure and hop over there, mattmorris.com, and you'll get my daily emails. Again, thanks.
All right. I know that there's this whole practice of goal setting where you act like you've already achieved something, where you say like, I'm a multi-million-dollar earner and I am married to a supermodel or whatever, right? But an approach that I like better, because I'm a little bit into this stuff, not to the point where I'm going to become a life coach or anything, but, and so I have this little thing on my monitor, and it's, I want to be the kind of person that has deep, meaningful relationships. I want to be the kind of person that travels multiple times a year. I want to be the kind of person that is healthy and full of energy. And so what that does is that frames it into the kind of person I want to be. And so when I think about doing something, I could say, well, would a person who wants to be healthy and full of energy eat an entire box of brownies today? Probably not. But would I eat one? Yeah, I probably would. Definitely going to go eat one after this, now that I'm thinking about it. So what did we learn from our friend Matt today? Well, We didn't learn that much that we didn't learn from other people. We learned that we have to consistently provide value. That is what the underpinning of everything is. We need to follow a 4-point system of attracting, engaging, connecting, and closing. In attracting people, we need to post content every day, and we need to vary what that content is. We need to be posting about our lifestyle and our families in addition to business-related content. In the engagement portion, we need to be commenting on other people's stuff and responding when people leave comments on our stuff. For connecting is we need to take it off of the comments and bring them into the direct messages, slide into the DMs, if you will, to have these conversations and build rapport. We need to close by asking for the sale and by only offering the opportunity to people who directly ask. To build rapport, we can use the CASH system, which stands for compliment, ask a question, find similarities, and help them and offer them the opportunity. And we learned that above all, the reason that he's successful is that he's provided immense value and gone above and beyond for people. And that if we did that, we could be as successful. Do I think Matt Morris knows what he's talking about? Not really. As we've learned on this channel, there are people who have big audiences who don't necessarily know what they're talking about. And there are people with small audiences who do. I feel like I know as much, if not more, about social media and social media engagement than Matt does. But in him comparing people like Guy Kiyosaki and Tony Robbins in terms of their content generation machines to the average person who's watching this video, I don't think that's quite a fair comparison. So, yeah, if you want to learn from the dollar store network marketer trainers, feel free to do that. So a new feature I want to offer on these broadcasts going forward is what I'm calling a shilling to content ratio. So what I mean here is how much time do these people in the audio or video that we're reacting to spend trying to sell their own products, talking about how great they are, or cross-promoting their friends' stuff that maybe indirectly makes them money or builds that relationship, versus presenting about the content they said they were going to present about. So in our case here, the video was 34 minutes and 44 seconds long, so almost 35 minutes. And the actual content started at the 5-minute mark. It ended at the 26-minute mark where he started talking about the thing that he was trying to sell us. So we had about 14 minutes of shilling to 34 minutes of content, which makes a 40% shill, 60% content ratio. And I think in a previous video I did, I said that Amy Porterfield spent 40% of her time shilling. I should go back and figure out the ratio for that one. But point being, we'll do it going forward. And you'll see that while these videos are free trainings, a lot of time is spent selling things in them. Whereas with my video, it's like 5% shilling, which is about to happen right now. If you like this video, I would love it if you subscribe to this channel. Trying to get to 1,000 so we can monetize the channel and do more things, like I can justify buying myself a nice microphone, for example, that kind of thing. If you like it, maybe share it with somebody. That would be awesome. That's a great way for me to get in front of new people with these reaction videos. And if you like what you see, you can go to the YouTube channel and check out the reaction playlist. And I know Jessica is adding these reaction videos also to our blog. So Breaking Even Communications on YouTube. There's a Nicole Reacts playlist. And there will also be a blog category for the Nicole Reacts content. If you have a guru you want me to react to, or even a specific video, you can leave it as a comment wherever you're seeing this now. Or if you're more shy, you can use the contact form of the website and send it to me privately that way. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time because we have so many gurus to react to, and we'll always find a fun way to do it here. Thanks again, and take care.